because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncers' guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Let's go, babe.
Just call me Babe.
So let's go, baby.
This is Colin McGuigan for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to be joined by Francisco Smith. Frank, immediate reaction to that Berlanga. We've just had some weird people walk past. That Berlanga victory.
Look, I think... Don't know what's going on here. Thought it was all going to kick off again. It could have been... I think he could have done more in the fight at certain times. He could have let his hands go a bit more. I think at times he showed what he's so good at. In that 12th round, he could have done that in the 6th, 7th, 8th and probably got Jason out of there. But Jason came for a fight. He boxed very well, Jason, and he showed a lot of heart as well, because at certain points he could have said, not for me, in that last round getting up as well. But look, I think it's a good name beating Jason, a fighter. We know the ability he's got, after a long time out the ring as well. And I think from here, he knows what he needs to do to step on. He's got such a... Everyone compares it to the 16 first round knockouts he had. So his whole career is being compared to that those moments. But I think if he wants to step up into those bigger fights that we talk about, they're the kind of fights he needs. He can't just go in there, keep knocking people out in the first round, because he's not going to learn anything. Could have done more at certain points, but I think another good learning fight for him.
Is it fair to say, though, a bit underwhelming? Because all week, we've been building it up. Berlanga's got to go in, steamroll Jason quickly, and then it's a points victory.
Yeah, look, it wasn't what everyone talked up about, but sometimes that happens in boxing. It's the business we're in. Yeah, we've seen it on many occasions. It's our job to obviously promote it, build it up. We did expect that. But, Jason showed a lot of heart as well to keep going throughout that fight as well. But, like I say, now we move on. I think he had a lot of pressure on him as well in that fight, because it was his first fight back in a long time, as I say, and also his first fight with us, and he was headlining the show, and it was a big moment for him. So hopefully that eases some of the pressure on him, and we can get him back out soon.
Where do you go next for Berlanga? Back to New York again? Back to the Garden?
Yeah, possibly. The other idea as well, I like the idea of going to Puerto Rico. Would be amazing. Yeah, you saw the atmosphere in here tonight as well was brilliant. He's got huge support. And it would be great to take a show to Puerto Rico, so let's see.
In terms of the opposition, Canelo's out of the question now. I think possibly it would be too soon for him anyways. But when we're looking at possible opposition, Jaime Munguia possibly, but the Oscar De La Hoya thing with Golden Boy might affect it. John Ryder possible. Padraig McCrory, who was considered for this one?
Yeah, McCrory was considered. I think Munguia is a great fight as well. Look, everyone is aware of differences, but at the same time, it shouldn't stand in the way of making the right fights for the people promoters represent, and it hasn't done in the past, so I don't see that being as a stumbling block. John Ryder potentially, but it's got to be the right fight as well. We'll sit down with him after this, and look, he wants the big nights, he wants the big fights, he wants to test himself. You're probably right, Canelo would be too soon too soon right now, but yeah, that's the focus now.
Kawasaki, Kusumano, what a fight.
Yeah, unbelievable fight, back and forth. You thought early in the first, was it the first round or second round when Kawanaki got put down? You thought it was all over then. Came back, carried on going, and back and forth all the way throughout. And obviously Tao thrown in the 7th or 8th, I think it was. But a brilliant fight. But I think that you got to be honest. I think that's the end now for Adam. It has to be. He's been in some tough fights. And I think you have to say this was supposed to be his fight to build him back up to those big nights, but I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a road he comes back on there.
The end for Kawanaki, but only the start with matchroom for Kusumano. What's next for him? Thomas Carty possibly?
I heard you say that.
I know.
Can you imagine that in Dublin?
It would be unbelievable.
Do you like that fight for him?
Make it happen. Colin McGuigan, matchmaker.
Okay, matchmaker, Colin McGuigan. Let's see. We'll see, mate.
That's a good fight. No, you don't agree?
Yeah, it could be a great fight. It's an interesting time in the heavyweight division. There's, getting a win over a name like Adam Kalnacki as well. Although he's at the latter part of his career, he's still got a big name, Adam. And that kind of win can put him in a position now to challenge in some big fights.
AJ Whyte, Eddie said you're the man to speak to. Where are we at, Frank?
Did he?
He did.
I honestly don't think it's likely.
How? Why?
I don't think it's like. If you want me to be honest, because I don't think it's going to get done in the time frame. I think AJ fights on August 12th. I don't believe the Dillian Whyte fight will happen, but I'll be happy to be surprised. We're going to work hard tomorrow. Hopefully we can get some stuff done tomorrow and then get it announced early next week.
So if Whyte doesn't accept by tomorrow, then you're going to go ahead with Caballero and announce that at the start of next week. Is that the plan?
Or another, yeah.
So Caballero or another. Who's this other that has been thrown into the mix very late on?
Another.
Can you please give us a name?
No.
Otto Wallen?
No.
I'll run out of guesses.
Otto Wallen wouldn't make too much because of the southpaw stance. Obviously, if going in, looking ahead of a fight against Deontay Wilder later in the year, needs the right type of fight in August. But look, it's not me giving up hope on Dillian. I'm just saying, if you ask my opinion, I think it's unlikely. But I'll be happy to be shocked and get it done.
Eubank Junior Ben likely to land in the UK. Spurs Stadium, as you've said. Where are we at with those negotiations?
Yeah, Spurs. I got a call with Spurs on Monday. We got the date held September 23. Obviously, a few ongoing matters with Conor that in the next week or two we hope to be resolved. And the conversations are ongoing with Wasserman and Team Eubank. I believe it's the fight. I believe the fight gets made. I believe it's the biggest fight. It's the fight everyone wants. It makes the most sense. And I'm very confident we can get it over the line. Worked on it for a long, long time, and we'll be very glad when they both step in the ring if we get it all signed and sealed.
Last one from me, because I think I'm missing Berlanga's press conference and I need to cut this short with you. I would rather this, to be fair.
No,
tell me your honest truth on Oscar De La Hoya's tweets and the whole thing that's been towards Matchroom this week from him, and both being on the same platform at DAZN. It's not a good look, right?
Very weird, very strange, doesn't make much sense. Bit sad, really. He doesn't tweet about his own fighters that he promotes, but seems to be all consumed by Eddie.
Why is this?
I don't know. Look, I think, I've spoken to a few people about all the negative sort of tweets and Twitter across American boxing, be it Oscar De La Hoya, Leonard Ellaby, Lou DiBella, all these people. It's because they are, one, jealous, but if we weren't in a strong position, so if we were low down the pecking order, like they say we are, and we're finished, you wouldn't be talking about us. You wouldn't be giving us airtime. The reason they're all talking about us is because we're the biggest in the game, and we're the best to do it. So, I'm sort of very happy about that. So long may they continue talking about us. Long may it go on. I think you should ease up on Eddie, because Eddie might get a bit upset about it eventually. But, it's all, got to take it all with a pinch of salt. Good luck to him. I just wish he focused this much time on his own business and maybe he'd be in the right position. Well, I get on very well with a lot of people at Golden Boy. It's a shame to see, but it is what it is. We move on.
Frank Smith, see you in Monterey, my friend.
See you in Monterey, my friend.
Because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,